Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Sebastian, a medical student from Australia, and today I'll be taking you through a productive day of study as I begin my new block, Endocrinology. I wake up at around 8:30 a.m. after getting my usual 7.5 hours of sleep and hit the snooze button a few times before getting up. I muck around on my phone for about 30 minutes, checking messages and completing my daily flashcards on a Chinese learning app called Scritter, which helps you write out the Chinese characters and learn new vocabulary. I then roll out of bed and tell Alexa to play some music. Recently, I've been listening to a lot of Phineas and Jack Johnson, and the music helps add a little bit of a relaxing vibe as I fix my bed and tidy my room. I brush my teeth, splash cold water on my face, and then head to the kitchen to have my typical breakfast of Weet-Bix and milk. I make sure to drink plenty of water during this time because I've heard that you can lose more than a liter of fluid overnight, so it's really important to rehydrate when you wake up. After smashing out 8 Weet-Bix, I switch on my computer and remember to change out of my pajamas to help switch my brain from sleep to study mode. It's a Tuesday, which means it's our dedicated lecture day for the week. We have 7 online lectures scheduled for today, 7. But I decide to watch them later on so that I can pause and review parts that are difficult while speeding up parts that are easier, 2 times all the way. Instead, I begin by doing a second review of previous lectures which covered the pituitary gland and general hormone physiology. Last week, I set up a pass tracker on Notion, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically a table that lists all the lectures for the block, and you can record the number of passes or reviews that you've completed for each lecture. In the table, I record the lecture code, subject, date of last review, and difficulty. That way, I can look at my pass tracker and find all the topics that I rated most difficult, and then begin by reviewing those and working my way down. I'm using Notion because I can also link the lecture notes within the table, but really you can make your own pass tracker in any other program like Word or Excel. I end up reviewing about 4 lectures covering topics like the anatomy of pituitary fossa and histology of endocrine glands. I write down the most important points from each lecture onto my iPad using the app Notability. As I'm going through, I try my best to compress the lectures, some of which have over 60 PowerPoint slides, into 1 to 3 pages of written notes. I know that I'll forget half of what I learn within a week, so having my own written notes instead of searching through long PowerPoint slides will make it easier to review later on. It approaches 12:30, so I put away my iPad and heat up my lunch. I tidy the kitchen a little bit while I'm waiting for the microwave, and then make myself comfy and dig into some hearty beef stew. Afterwards, I plop myself down on the couch and begin reading White Fang, a novel by Jack London. A couple weeks back, I went on a mini trip with my girlfriend, and along the way we visited this cute little bookstore that sold new, old, and rare books. While we were there, I picked up this old school book of White Fang, which also contains London's other classics like The Call of the Wild and The Scarlet Plague. If you're interested in seeing what books I'm currently reading, or would like to join me in completing a yearly reading goal, which I talk about in another video, feel free to add me as a friend on Goodreads. I'll link my profile in the description below. I finished the first 2 chapters and then I head back to my desk. I've always found testing and quizzing yourself is a good way to learn, so I open up Past Medicine and start working through endocrine questions. If you've not heard of it before, Past Medicine is a free online resource which provides practice questions designed for medical students. Even though a lot of the questions covered material beyond what I've learned so far, detailed explanations are provided at the bottom of each question, which I take note of as I'm going along. I find that getting experience early on with the types of questions being asked, and also the high yield principles that you have to look out for, is really important when it comes to exam time. And so after working through about 25 questions, I close Past Medicine and open up Anki and begin going through endocrine physiology. A lot of people tell me that it's better to make my own cards, but I find that formatting and typing them out just takes up a lot of time, and coupled with my own laziness, I prefer to use pre-made decks from previous students or ones that I find online. I'm currently working through a pre-made deck called Zunky, and after clicking through about 100 new cards, I call it quits and take a break. If you've seen my study routine video from last week, you know that after 4 p.m, the afternoon low really kicks in and I start to feel pretty tired. But I fight off the urge to have a quick nap and instead hop into my bed to watch YouTube videos with my friend Bruce. After mindless video watching and spending way too long on my phone looking at cute cartoons on Instagram, the sun starts to set as it approaches 5:30. I switch on the lights and head back to my desk to do some Chinese study. Sometime last year, I decided to learn Chinese as a hobby, and while I'm still not very good, I've been trying my best to put aside time each day to practice. I work through an online course called Chinese for Us and watch a lesson on how to properly use again in sentences by using the words 在 and yo. I speak aloud whenever possible, focusing as hard as I can on proper pronunciation. For the native speakers out there, please go easy on me.
虽然他离婚了，但是他还想再找一个人结婚。
Once the lesson's done, I chuck on some workout clothes and drive over to the gym. I live in Australia, and for us, gyms reopened about 3 weeks ago. I do a workout with some friends while making sure to clean out areas as best as we can while adhering to social distancing guidelines. An hour passes, and at this point my body is feeling pretty tired, so I make the trip home and grab some dinner. After polishing off a good home-cooked meal, I have a shower and prepare for a quick evening study session. I continue reviewing lectures using my past tracker, and I complete some pre-work for a team-based learning class that I have in the morning. Tomorrow's clinical case is on a patient presenting with classical signs of a pituitary tumor, bitemporal hemianopia, fatigue, and headaches. I do a final review on pituitary hormones before closing my notes and joining a Zoom call with some med school friends. We chat over our recent exam, discuss how the block is going, and rant about difficult concepts we've been learning about. We try organize a video call like this once per week because it's been a really good way to keep social, especially during this time of quarantine. It's also a good chance to encourage some friendly competition and have a laugh. The Zoom call ends and it's soon replaced by a Discord call as I join some high school mates for a game of Valorant. It's a new first-person shooter released by the same company who made League of Legends, a game that I played way too much growing up. Everyone tells me that video games are a waste of time, but I think that as long as you keep them in moderation, it's a fun way to unwind at the end of the day. Before I know it, it's after midnight, so I go brush my teeth and settle into bed. Before I sleep, I quickly call my girlfriend Deborah, and we talk about our day, interesting things that happened, and just whatever is on our minds. I wish a good night, snuggle in with my favorite penguin, and switch off the light. That puts an end to a productive day in my life as I snooze off to thoughts about how I'm going to edit this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to hit that like button and to subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Let me know down below what you guys would like to see next, and I hope you're all having a relaxing day. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, this was Sebastian. Stay sharp.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Just